21st, 2020. Today is a wonderful day because all the numbers, you only need three numbers in the date to 012, 012, 12, 21, 2020, 012. Tonight I come to you humble. The very fact that we come thus far to experience so much this year. We're on the eve of Christmas. We're only 4 days away until Christmas. This is a huge celebration in the United States and also around the world. Um, this evening, I have great news for you. As you could see down on the scoreboard, that we have a lot to talk about. But I'm going to give you about 10 to 15 seconds to call a family member, a friend of yours, or significant others, to let them know that if it's 8 o'clock, if it's Monday, it's the Robert DeVerney Show. So this is a time to call a friend, a colleague, to let them know the Robert DeVerney Show is on, and we would love to have them on board. So I would suggest that you do that right now as we speak. Make good use of it, and then that way we can continue the show, and then we all can participate in this great segment that we're about to discuss. All right. Um, as you're coming in, those of you will be seeing this in recast. I encourage you to always encourage a friend to subscribe to the Robert DeVerney Show. Well, tonight, what I have on the menu for you is, of course, the stimulus, the U.S. Congress. I'm referring to the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House of Representatives, and leaders, of course, Mitch McConnell in the Senate and Nancy Pelosi in the House. They have reached a consensus. Remember a couple of weeks ago, I told you the stimulus was somewhat dead. However, it has rejuvenated. They have put life into it again. Um, it's a great night in America, and I'm sure these lawmakers, they must have watched the Robert DeVerney show a couple weeks ago because we did tell them to start doing the people's job. That's why we elected them to represent us to the best of their ability, and at the same time, look out for the American people. And they have done exactly so. Although the package they put together is worth about $900 billion. That's a lot of money. Some may argue that well, it was too little, but they were looking for 1.8, double this up. However, they came with a lower bracket of $900 billion. Out of that $900 billion, $600 will be going to each American who have filed their taxes and the retirees but then again, we're not gonna get the $1,200 that we so accustomed to. The last time we had the $1,200, but this time around, due to the debt and also the concern, they narrow it down to $600. But I tell you what, it's something. Again, the beauty about it is that $600 you will be able to get it by next Monday. So be on the lookout. Those of you who have direct deposit, those of you who may have filed your taxes the past a few years electronically, you will get a direct deposit into your account of $600. If you file, it's up to $150,000. If you and your spouse combine 75, $150,000. So most likely you guys are gonna get a $1,200. So I encourage those of you who are married, those of you who file joint taxes, to split this money accordingly how the government wanted it to be split. 600 for the husband and 600 for the wife, and not 800. And okay, and not 400 for the other party, but however 600, 600 each, split it this way. And okay, that's good news. That's good news. And then, of course, those of you who are into businesses, there's $150 billion set aside for small businesses. Small businesses, you have an opportunity to tap into that stimulus package that the government has just put forward. Again, just as we speak right now on the Robert Verdi Show, the House of Representatives with leader Nancy Pelosi. They're voting right now on it, and this is a done deal. I don't see any huddle. Mitch McConnell, who I have great respect for, not just because he's on board for that stimulus package, but however, we can tell me show me the money. I like that. Just before I jump into this into Delta, I'd like to say kudos to my viewers right now. Mrs. Bernadette Remy, who's watching us from Pembroke Pines, I'd like to say good evening to you. Mr. Odelson Ambrose, who does not have any lesson planning for this evening, logged in on time this evening. Good evening, Mr. Ambrose. I'd like to say good evening to my lovely wife, Geralda Beverne, who's logged in. Also, Daria Hutchinson, show me the money. Daria Hutchinson, I can tell you that you will get your money as of next week. If you have direct deposit, you will see that like sometime between Monday and Tuesday of next week. I get those words from Mr. Steve Mnuchin, who is the current Secretary of the Treasury. He said you should get that money right next week. So those of you, I don't want to hear any excuses that, remember, we're still in Christmas mode, and as you can see, I'm right here, I'm representing Christmas here tonight for my viewer. What I can tell you is that if you are planning to buy a significant other or a good friend of yours, someone who's so dear to you this year, this is a time to do it, because guess what? You're getting $600 next week. So no excuse not to. You like that, huh, Ms. Hutchinson? Okay, so there's no excuse for you not to buy this significant other or buy me a gift, because you're gonna have $600 next week. Okay. Well, Dr. Azol just logged in. Dr. Azol would like to thank you for logging in. Of course, it's Christmas. I'm in the Christmas spirit, and then, how could I not be represented this evening toward my viewers, which is the last show before Christmas? And again, we only have one more show for the year, which is next week. So I'm going to be at my best and my best behavior, as usual, but at the same time reflected my viewers. I'm sure that's how my viewers would want me to dress up for the occasion, and I'm doing just so. Is that correct, my viewers? So stay tuned, and we have a lot to talk about this evening. I would not bore you to death. And then now, like I said, we're gonna have the stimulus next week, which is good news. And then you guys can go out there and shop, and then do your shopping. And so most of you has already started. Thank you, Dr. Azol. Thank you. For someone of your caliber to make such a statement means a lot. I appreciate you. I'm sure that those of you who plan on doing some shopping, this is the time to do it. And you have $600 in the bank coming up. This is a way to stimulate the economy. Every time a dollar comes to the American people, 98 cents of it goes into the businesses. So this is how we stimulate the economy. The government think the best way to stimulate the economy is to pour money into your hands, because you most likely you're not going to save it, because you're going to spend it. So we stimulate the economy. That's what we're doing. All right. Now we're going to pass on the next note. I'm sure there will be more questions down the road. Do we have to pay this money back? We'll leave that. Now we're going to enjoy the stimulus that's coming up next week. We're not going to go into the details. Let's just enjoy that $600. So it's like the government were thinking about getting this to you before Christmas, but then again, as you know, in the House and the Senate. Okay, that's a good question. Now, there you go. The questions start coming in. Do kids get any money? Well, actually, if the kids is under 16, is 16 or under, yes, they do get that additional funds as well. You get another 600. So you have kids under 16, yes, somewhere around. The last time you had $500 per child, so you still got to get your $500. In other words, 5 plus 6, that's $1,100 now. Okay, so if your kids is 16 or over, so last time was 17, now they brought it down to 16. So I guess we're going to take what they gave us, right? We're going to be grateful. Thank you. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Thank you for logging in. Thank you for logging in. It's Christmas. It's in the spirit of Christmas, and we're all here. And I would not want to be anywhere else this Monday, but be with you here this evening to provide you the latest news. And as far as the stimulus, and at the same time some hurdle that we may see. You know what? Tonight there was a segment that I already wrote, but I like the mood that's going right now. I'm not gonna touch it too much. As a matter of fact, I'm not gonna touch it at all because I don't want to spoil the evening of what's gonna happen on January 6th. Like I said last week, we said that we're not gonna touch that, but I'm gonna leave it as is. Okay. So we'll discuss that down the road. But for now, I want you guys to enjoy this week. And I'm sure a lot of you already started your shopping. I'm sure it's a lot. I was driving this evening, and a lot of traffic. The American people still have the spirit of celebration, which is a good thing. Although we're fighting COVID, but the spirit is still strong, and we need that resilience in the American people. That's the only way that we can carry the torch that we have, and that we're going to pass the baton to the next generation. That we Americans, when we fall, we get back up. We don't stay down. All right. Now I'd like to talk to you briefly about some picks that Mr. Biden has done so far. As you know, not all picks are required Senate approval, but in the cabinet, you do not need any Senate confirmation. I'm sure a lot of these people that he selected, these are folks that those of you into the political realm you've heard of, the likes of. I'm going to give you a few here that he already selected to be his chief of staff, his secretary of state, and so on and so forth. But it's a long list. But there are two picks that he has not selected yet, as you know. But those are very controversial, and the Senate already told him, particularly Mitch McConnell said, Mr. Vice President elect, right now, Mr. President elect, do not even consider bringing a particular individual who was at the Justice Department because they figured she may be too toxic. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say good evening to my lovely sister here, Mrs. Gallen, who will be celebrating her birthday, this 24th on Christmas Eve. Well, I'd like to wish you a happy early birthday, Mrs. Gallen, Pastor Gallen as well, who will be celebrating her teen's birthday, this 24th of December. Again, kudos to you. May God bless you as you continue to move on, as you continue to do great things in the community with your life. Mrs. Gallen has a live that comes on every Saturday at 7 p.m. Praise and worship. She's a leader in worship. Those of you who have some time on Saturday, you should make it a priority to definitely check out Lernia Gallen. All right. I'd like to say good evening, of course, to my lovely aunt, Mrs. Bonhomme, Claudette Bonhomme from New York. She just logged in. Thank you for logging in. I'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas as you celebrate this season. We're just celebrating Christ, our Savior. All right, this is what we're all about here, right here. All right, you guys are lovely. I can tell. I wish I could see you, but I can tell as I'm looking tonight. That's how good that you are looking as well. Is that correct? I have no doubt about that. So we're in the spirit of Christmas. Again, this is the last show before Christmas, technically, and then we have one more show, which will be next Monday, the 28th, which will be our last show of the year. Again, at the Robert DuVernay Show, we did talk about stimulus, and the stimulus is delivered. We should have those of you just coming in right now, I'll just give you a little quick recap. We should have golden macaroni voice. This is a character right now. Appreciate you, man. Well, congratulations. Thank you for logging in. Again, we have a stimulus check that's coming to you your way next week. Next week, by Monday, Tuesday, those of you who have direct deposit, be on the lookout for that 600. If you're not too happy with your 600, you can always forward it to the Robert DuVernay Show. We'll make good use of it for you. Again, we'd like to thank the U.S. Congress for coming together as a unit and in doing the people's business. Again, they couldn't get us the $1,200 that we had the last time because we become so accustomed to $1,200. And but this time we're only getting 600. But 600 is better than nothing. Is that correct? We'll do half right now, and then And those of you who may have businesses, and then there's a unique opportunity for you to tap into the loans that will be available through SBA, just so you can propel your business moving forward. Mrs. Paul from Orlando, well, good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for logging in. It's been a while. We haven't seen you online, but then again, you're here. That's what's important. All right. Now we on the prior segment, I did mention to you that President-elect Joseph Biden has made a few selections in creating his cabinet. As his chief of staff, he has selected Ron Klein. Ron Klein, just give you a little brief history about Ron Klein. Ron Klein has been Mr. Biden's right hand for quite some time. He was his chief of staff while Mr. Biden was the vice president with President Obama. So these two, they work in concert. They know each other very well. If Mr. Biden sneezes, I'm sure Mr. Ron Klein knows exactly what he means. So this is someone you need consistency. I think with the fact that we are walking in uncharted water, I think you need someone who's seasoned in the field, and at the same time who knows Washington in and out. So that's how you're going to get done. As you know, it's not easy to get things done in Washington. I'm sure President Trump had the same issue with the Democratic Party. I mean, guess what? It's not going to shift overnight with President-elect Biden overnight. So he's going to have some hiccups with the Republican Party. But then again, when someone knows how to maneuver, in other words, how to deal with the other party, especially they have a strong record, I think that will down the road pay dividends, huge dividends. So that's what we're looking forward to. That Mr. Ron Klein will be the go-to man. In other words, he will be next to President Biden on a regular basis, in formulating his ideas, and of course in transmitting because technically when you're a chief of staff, you are the mediator between the president and the Congress. Because in other words, instead of President Biden going to Congress, to Ron Klein will be the individual who will be contacting Senate leaders, House Representative leaders, in that case, Speaker Pelosi. Okay, so these are the players that you want to have in place. Because when things need to get done, you need someone who who's seasoned, as I said earlier, and also who knows the Washington in and out. So it's very important that we keep those in mind, because Washington is not easy. It's not easy to get anything done unless you know how. You got to know the know-how. It's very important, not just so of your name, but do you know what's going on? That's key. All right. So Mr. Biden has also selected Mrs. Susan Rice. You guys remember Susan Rice was the ambassador for UN during President Obama. She's also a seasoned Korea government. She will be working as a director of Domestic Policy Council. And Mr. Biden is bringing a lot of minority into his cabinet. So you would have also Mr. Cedric Richmond, who from Louisiana, who recently contracted the coronavirus. I pray that he's doing very well now. Again, he will be the director of Office of Public Engagement, which is very important, because we have so much tension in the United States. So you need someone of Mr. Cedric Richmond who has a good reputation, also who can walk across the aisle and getting things done as far as pushing a policy, and at the same time Mr. Biden can listen to and then somehow forge some kind of consensus in creating some movement, and then so we can have a better way of moving forward. That's very important. And then there are a lot of people coming back, and on Mr. John Kerry. You guys remember Mr. John Kerry was also the Secretary of State during the President Obama last year's in office. He will be the Special Presidential Envoy for Climate. Wow, that does not need for you to be at this level. You don't need the Senate approval. So those are his cabinet. You don't need that. So which is very important. Guess who's getting a job with the cabinet here. Okay, I'm going to tell you in just a second. But before I jump into that, Miss Jen Psaki will be press secretary. So we're going to have a change of guard here in the press corps. Miss Jen Psaki, she's very savvy and very skilled, seasoned. She will be the press secretary. So we need someone who can answer a question. Sometimes you may not want to answer a question, but again, not deliberately say that you're not going to answer it. And then if I ask you what today is, you're telling me that Shakespeare was a great English who wrote so many plays. I didn't ask you Shakespeare. I said what today is. So this is what we've been saying lately. When someone does not want to answer a question, they just throw you a curveball, so you wonder where that came from. You're going around like this. So hopefully Jen Psaki will do a good job in that position. She's also very skilled, and we'd like to see women at behind the pulpit there and answering questions, knowledgeable, with confident and with confidence, and also with some kind of swag, which is awesome. I like that. All right. Yes, also we have another minority has been, she will be the chief spokesperson for the vice president. I'm talking about Simone Sanders. Simone Sanders, as you know, she worked with the Sanders campaign. She was a campaign manager for Bernie Sanders. So now she's joined the Biden team, so which is a good thing. She's also a minority. She will be the chief spokesperson for Mrs. Kamala Harris, who is the VP. Now, last week we talked about, like I said, there's a lot of minority in that. You could see this is America. When you look at the Biden team, you see America. We see the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken. This is a guy also career politician. He's been in there forever. Also, he's very skilled, and he knows Washington. He knows the Department of State in and out. So you need guys like that, guys who've been in the position, who has a good reputation around the world. When they do make a call, other leaders listen because their name means something. They know what they stand for. They know these guys been in office for some time and under different administration. So there's a continuity, so which is key. Also, as this is the first time we have a minority in that position as Secretary of Defense, which is retired General Lloyd Austin. Lloyd Austin, I would put a question mark next to his name because he recently retired from service. So by law, you have to be out of service for at least 7 years. Okay, you have to be out of service for 7 years to join the rank of secretary. So in other words, he would need at least to have some type of a waiver. So that's the same thing that is for, you guys remember Mattis, General Mattis, who was the Secretary of Defense during the Trump administration. He had just left the army, so and then I think the Senate had to give him the waiver because he was the only man who had his head on his shoulder. He was the guys from the military who was going to calm things down because it was very chaotic. So they had no other choice but to issue a waiver because he was not out of service for 7 years. So they waived that, so they let him in. Now, same thing happening with this guy, with retired Lloyd Austin. So we don't know if that's going to happen. They said, well, Mr. Biden is a cool guy. He could choose somebody else. But then again, it would be nice to have an African American to serve at that position for the very first time as Secretary of Defense. All right. Well, I got some folks who just logging in. I have my brother here, Mr. Roland DuVernay. Thank you for logging in, brother. Again, if it's Monday, if it's 8 p.m., it's the Robert DuVernay Show. We on here every night. Okay, Mr. Philogen Fritz now, we'd like to say Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for logging in. Again, tonight we have a wonderful show and the Robert DuVernay Show. We just gone over the Biden picks for his cabinet. I mean, those I'm mentioning to you right now, those need the Senate confirmation. And whereas the prior one I mentioned to you earlier was not required Senate confirmation because they're cabinets. Now, with Department of Homeland Security, we have Alejandro Mayorkas. He's a Cuban American. He will be the first Cuban American to serve at that position as the Secretary of Homeland Security. This is a huge department. As you know, Department of Homeland Security was created in 2001 after the September 11th. This is a new department that was created just to protect the homeland. So Department of Homeland Security been around for 18 years, 19 years now, right? 2001, 2020, 19 years. It's a fairly new department, and it is a department that oversees pretty much everything that deals with security and also the homeland. So you figured the CIA, the Pentagon, all these work together under one umbrella, and then this is very key, very key. All right, so Mr. Alejandro Mayorkas will be the new secretary in that department. Also, we have Director of National Intelligence, Ava Haynes. Wow, she's a young woman. She's Director of National Intelligence. And all right, this is a big one, big title, and she's probably going to work hand in hand with Mr. Alejandro Mayorkas. And also Ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas Greenfield. She's African American. She will be filling that position also. All right. I'd like to say a lovely good evening to my dear sister, Mrs. Pierre-Louis. Good evening, Mr. DuVernay. Thank you for another informative show. Blessing to all. Mrs. Pierre-Louis, it's been so long I've not seen you. I was wondering, should I take a flight to New York to reach out to you, because we have not seen you on the Robert DuVernay Show for some time, and we miss you dearly. We thank you for logging in this evening. Again, as you know, this is the Christmas week. We're only 4 days shy of Christmas. So I'd like to wish you all a Merry, Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart, from the Robert DuVernay Show, from all the staff who work with me tirelessly to bringing this show to you every Monday. As you know, this is the last show until after Christmas. We have one more show until the following year. Again, stay tuned, and we could not be that far without you. Every now and then when you're logging in on everybody, when you're logging in every Monday, this brings joy. This tells me that, hey, we're doing something that is productive. Otherwise, you would not be signing on. So we thank you for logging in. I have a lot of folks that I admire a lot who log in this evening. All of you guys who are logging here, you guys are I'm a big fan of yours as well, and we are thankful for this year. Okay, so we're gonna put politics aside right now and say some nice words and also some kind words toward the end of the year. I'm sure most of you will probably gather with family members, which is very important. This is a time that's what Christmas is all about. It's the gift from God, and then when a gift, always appreciative, especially you're not paying for it. And this is someone who's been thinking about. Think about it. Somebody will give you a gift, a cup, okay, or like the Robert DuVernay Show, you get a cup like this, and then unexpectedly, okay, it comes to you, and then it's beautiful, and then you tend to appreciate it. And then you wonder about the person who actually put it together. That's exactly what the Lord has done. He sent us Christ, the Savior. He must have been thinking about us. That's exactly what it is. So that's the reason why we celebrate Christmas. Christmas is a special occasion. And even the government this year feels like it's important that you celebrate Christmas. That's why they're sending you $600 next week. It will come after Christmas. So if those of you who may be using your credit card, so you know you have $600 next week that you could pay those bills, those gifts that you'll be buying for your family members, friends, and relatives, and make good use of it. All right. Now, on a lighter note, most of you will be gathering this weekend, particularly on Christmas, with family members. Just use the 6 feet distance, wear your mask, and at the same time, avoid large crowd. It's very important that you avoid. Because I'd like to see you coming back here on the 28th, and I'd love to see. I'd love to see, you know what, when the Robert DuVernay Show take another level. And I want to go in my archives knowing that you were there. You made it happen. So I want you to come back. because you are important to me. So I wish you the very best this season. I wish you a success. I wish that you keep in mind that those who are next to you and to wear masks because we've seen a peak just this week around the world. UK has closed, and major part of Europe is on shutdown right now. So here in America, we're taking note, and we're doing our very best to stay safe. And then I want you to stay safe as well. Okay. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you next week. All right, that's a good one. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Well, Sister Pierre Lewis just said that we should save some of that stimulus money. Some of it. She didn't say all, but some of that money should be saved. And also, if we believe in tithing, very definitely. So if we were to give the Lord a portion of that, that would be $60 right there. See, you just move 1 0, take 1 0 off. That's it. Say, Lord, here's your 60. In my 540, according to our sister here, we'll probably, I don't know how much she would want to put in the bank, and then the rest got to go back to the economy. That's the reason why they call it stimulus. That's the only way you can stimulate the economy. Because in my case, I have a business. If you come in and spend $500 in my business, and that'll be a great thing. So we all have it. The Lord has it as its share. The business has its share, and your bank account has its share. I think that's a great, brilliant point. These are the people that we need. I mean, these are people that are thinking. We thank you, Sister Pierre Loris. You see, your presence was needed. It's been a while. And then we appreciate the fact that in 2 sentences you were able to break it down. And we could have a whole show on just what you said. Well, thank you so much for bringing this up. Thank you. And then Mr. Ambrose here, he came back. Amen. Speaking my language. All right, sounds good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say a special thank to my lovely wife. She's also my producer. She's the one who makes sure that every Monday that I look sharp as usual, and also she dressed me up, and then she's the person. I mean, she's pretty tough on me on what topic I'll be speaking on a regular basis, and then she's part of it. Also, there's a team that work with me. They're called The Real Deal, and I'd like to say kudos to Pastor Sarah Petroni, Mrs. Rachel Theodore, and of course my lovely wife, Dr. Geralda DeVerney. Also, imagine I'm the only man working with 3 women. You know, I'm in the minority, so these women, sometimes they brutalize me, they punch me. I mean, not physically, but at times. But we get along very well because we tend to have a heated debate, and then that's how we trying to come out very sharp here every Monday. And just for you, because they want to say, well, you have an audience of this magnitude who's going to watch you in the whole world, so making sure that you up to the game, and then I wouldn't have do it without this woman. All right, Mrs. Brown just logged in. Mrs. Brown, what if you don't have direct deposit? When will you get the check? Well, Mrs. Brown, she wants to make sure when she's going to get that check. Well, Mrs. Brown, this is what you can do. If you do not have direct deposit, guess what? It still can happen. You go to drs.gov, right? You put in your account number, and the government will direct deposit it for you. How's that? Well, hopefully you have an account. Or if you do have an account, you still can set it up, and you'll get that $600 to your account. Okay? So in other words, just go there and insert your account, your routing number, your account number, and the government will make sure that your check is direct deposited to you. So if I were you, once that show is over here within the next few minutes, I'll suggest that you log on to drs.gov and plug in your information, your routing number and account number, and the government will make sure that $600 is deposited into your account over the next few days, which will be the next Monday or Tuesday next week, just right after Christmas. So imagine that you spend all your money during Christmas, and then the government comes in on the back end. So I know you spent some money. Here's $600. Viva! All right. So thank you so much. Thank you. You guys been great. You guys been very supportive throughout the year, and I am forever grateful to you. And those of you who have been loyal, I don't want to single about anybody. But then again, I think it's worth noting that some of you are really loyal to this show. And if I'm running behind, if I'm not there one evening, I get calls on a regular basis. What happened last night? I didn't see. But I really appreciate it. Wow. Sister Pierre Lord, she said, behind every successful man, there's an army of bright and dedicated women. Kudos, Dr. Geralda. Our brother looks impeccable. Well, thank you. You could not have said it better. Sister Pierre Loris, you one of a kind. She's pretty good with words. I mean, I thank you so much, and you are a true woman. I have great respect for a very long time, and you're wonderful, an amazing woman, and I'll take your words to heart, and I'll make sure that I share that with her. I'm sure she's watching your notes as it comes through, and again, what can we do without women, really? Not a whole lot, right? There's a saying in Washington: if you want anything gets done, get a woman. And that's how Nancy Pelosi was able to pass the Affordable Care Act in 2010. All right. All right, all right. Well, don't forget to like and share this show. Share it to your friend. It's very important that we do that. God is good all the time. And I look forward to seeing you in not too distant future. That will be next Monday, the 28th, which will be our last show. Again, I may have some surprises for you, but then you're going to have to come in and log in and then tell your friend, I'd like to see the line lighting up here. And then we're going to have a celebration next Monday, which is the last Monday of the year and the last show of the year. So we're going to make it spectacular. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if it's Monday, if it's 8 p.m., it's the Robert DeVerney Show. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'd like to leave you with one quote that I admire by Edmund Burke. The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. Pour que le mal triomphe, seul suffit l'inaction des hommes de bien. So we are the good men. Let's do our part. And with this, we're going to leave a legacy for the next generation. Not only to our family, but for those we have come in contact with. On this note, I'd like to thank you and appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing you next Monday. In the meantime, Merry Christmas. May God bless you all. Until next time.